me. Okay, good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for joining us on our very first live stream of Civilization Beyond Earth. My name is Pete Murray. I'm here at Firaxis Games, and with me in the studio is our producer, Kevin Schultz. And on behalf of the Beyond Earth team, thank you for joining us. We're really excited to be able to show off the game today. This is our first opportunity to show off Beyond Earth on a live stream, and what we thought we would focus on today is a little bit about how the aliens in Beyond Earth operate. One of the things we found in showing off this game to people as they play is that people kind of need to think about aliens a little bit differently than the Barbarians in Civ V. In Civ V, the Barbarians are there and they're really just kind of a speed bump in the game. They're a bit of a threat early on as you're trying to expand your civilization. They're really annoying in that they can capture workers or drag people off when you're not expecting them. The city-states want you to go after them. In Beyond Earth, they're actually a faction unto themselves. They're controlled by an AI that is sort of paying attention to them and all of the humans on the world. So the aliens have an attitude towards your faction. They have an attitude towards the other factions throughout the world. And if somebody starts aggravating the aliens, then the aliens become more aggressive, not only towards the people who are attacking them, but all of the humans on the planet. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to run through an early game two separate ways. The first time we play, we're going to go in guns blazing, and we're going to treat these aliens like they're those barbarians from Civ V, the things that you whack on to farm for early game honor and experience, and then we're going to play them as if they're their own faction. We're going to let them kind of do their own thing, and we're going to focus more on expanding out in the early game itself. Sound good? All right, well, let's go ahead and we're jumping into our game right now. So let me give you a little bit of context for the setup here. So we're playing as Brasilia today. Brasilia is one of the factions in Beyond Earth. Their unique feature is that they get bonuses to their combat ability. I believe it's plus 10% for melee combat units right now. When we created our expedition, I chose to bring a weapons cache, which has started me with this Marine unit that's highlighted here. Normally, you don't just automatically start with this guy. You can also potentially bring along a worker as well, or some other benefits for buildings for your capital city. So I've also chosen our settlers as scientists because science is really kind of the engine that drives everything. I'm also hoping it will get us to better guns as we go throughout this demo today. So we'll go ahead and we will kick off by choosing some research. And here is the tech web that we've talked so much about up to this point. We've already discovered the habitation technology that allows us to settle on alien worlds. This has two leaf texts underneath it, pioneering and planetary survey. But what I'm interested right now is the one that's being recommended by my science advisor, and that's physics. And the reason is that will give me the Ranger, the very first ranged infantry unit in the game. So I think that'll be very helpful for killing bugs. So we'll go ahead and choose that. And we have to choose production in our first city. And because we are here to make a lasting impression on the wildlife of this planet, we're going to build another soldier. All right. So let's start out exploring our world. The explorer here, we'll send him out. He moves too. He doesn't get affected by the terrain. Our Marines do. They're a little bit slower. They're a little bit more plodding. We'll go ahead and continue off to the northeast here. We're just going to... This is interesting.
How may the corporation serve you?
Okay, so Suzanne Fielding of the American Reclamation Corporation's just made planetfall. She's just let us know that she's there. I really don't have anything that I want to discuss with her right now. We'll just dismiss her from now. And as the different factions make planetfall in Beyond Earth, they'll contact you just to let you know that they've arrived and they're in the neighborhood. And if you want to stop by and say hi at some point, that would be great. And indeed it is. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue exploring here. Keep moving my explorer up. And there's our first alien nest. Okay, so we've discovered an alien nest. We can clear that out if we need to. That's probably what will make our first sort of short-term objective. All right, and the aliens are coming out swinging at us. So what we'll do is we'll send our explorer off in the direction of that cargo pod there. I really don't want to hang around too much here. I do get the bonus for being up on the hills. I could go over to that copper tile there, but I don't know. A lot of choices here. You know what? Even if I stay in the zone of control, I'll be able to last another turn. Oh, there's another alien. That's the sea dragon out there. So he's a naval alien that can be a real pain, especially if they're chomping on your trade routes at sea. One of the reasons the aliens are a little bit touchy about this is because that is their nest right there. So we're going to need to clear that out in the short term. Keep moving our things over. And it looks like we can take a shot at the city of Cittadella. So if I were to treat this sea dragon like a, say a barbarian boat, I would go ahead and shoot that without remorse. Oh, this is cool. So we've discovered this resource pod sent by the people of Earth ahead of us. We've learned that it contains a basic satellite still intact with enough fuel for it to get to orbit, and we have a free solar collector to launch in the city of Cittadella. So this is great. This lets us show off the orbital layer. We can actually zoom in a little bit, and you can see the rocket on the launch pad in Cittadella. So I will go ahead and choose that. Yes, I'm being attacked. So let's pop up to the orbital layer for a second here. You can see the view changes. We can see the tiles where we're able to launch this satellite, and a solar collector increases the energy yields of the tiles beneath it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're just going to launch it directly over our city itself because we're still very small. We'll at least get that energy yield bonus in our capital itself, and then for those first few tiles we'll get a chance to take advantage of that energy yield as well. So if we go back to Cittadella for a second and bring the orbital layer back up, you can see there's our satellite. Pretty cool. All right, so our explorer, we'll go ahead and we'll let him fortify. That's the end of that turn. We're going to go ahead and continue. And let's see. Okay, another wolf beetle unit's come down and joined. That wolf beetle unit's retreated back to the nest. We'll go ahead and take this opportunity to bring the Marines in. See what's happening now. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to need to clear these guys out. Our ultimate objective, remember, is to go ahead and take out this nest. And the wolf beetles aren't quite as tough as our Marines are. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to shoot this guy up a bit. Oh. So I should mention, if you just saw that the version of the game we're using was actually, it's a couple weeks old at this point. And the team is working hard and the game is looking really, really fantastic. But this build was created shortly after our beta. So the game's getting a lot more stable as it goes on, and we're seeing fewer Marines run in place these days. So that's very exciting. Get off my lawn, Sea Dragon. So we bombarded him. Let's see if we come back here. He's taking his turn. Let's get this explorer out of here. He's too valuable to let him try to go toe-to-toe with a wolf beetle unit. That's just a recipe for disaster. All right, looks like we'll be able to clear this wolf beetle out right away. You know, this wouldn't be a bad spot to settle a city in the future. It's a little close, but it's got some hill tiles that'll give it some production. That's a fruit resource right there, so that's potentially useful for food. And there's an algae resource off the coast as well. So yeah, potentially a lot of good food, a lot of growth opportunity there in the city itself. Who needs orders? You need orders. We're going to go ahead and we're going to have you come up here just to make sure nobody's sneaking up on us to the side. So ending your turn outside of an alien nest is definitely, the aliens are going to perceive that as a very aggressive move. They know that you're there to clear out the nest. They're not going to let you get away with that. They're going to make you pay for it. So what I should do is, first of all, I should choose a veterancy for this guy. You've only got a limited number of promotions. You know, burning one of them to immediately recover hit points always feels like it's a tough choice. But you know, we're right there on the cusp, and If I rush and clear this nest, I'll get some energy potentially. So I'll go ahead and I'll heal these guys up. We'll go ahead and we'll take the minor victory. Even if I had taken Season, and if I had been able to clean out that nest, my unit would have been so damaged that it would have ended its turn in miasma. Miasma is an environmental hazard that damages your units if they end their turn within it. And so potentially, I could have lost that unit even after I'd cleared the alien nest. So that's something I want to keep in mind. All right, go ahead and take our next turn. So right now, this feels pretty good, right? You know, I'm kind of whacking on these wolf beetles, and I'm getting some experience for it and getting some veterancy. I brought another unit online. We'll bring him over and have him start helping out. We're going to go ahead and we're going to clear this nest. So we've destroyed a teeming alien nest and recovered 40 energy from it in the form of volatile hydrocarbons, I presume. We're going to go ahead and choose new production. Don't want to pick another soldier? Well, I feel pretty good right now. I got 2 soldiers going. I'm going to go ahead and pick Old Earth Relic. Maybe I can start getting into... oh, I got a quest decision. Okay, the indigenous species of these planets may pose a threat to our growth. I agree. Though we cannot determine their intelligence, their hostility has been documented. Moving forward, we must decide how to deal with them. Do we attempt to domesticate the local wildlife or exterminate them? Now, this quest decision starts to impact things later on through the game. Depending on which choice we make, we start to gain levels towards one of our affinities. And affinities are another feature for Beyond Earth. They represent sort of these competing visions for the future of humanity. We're going to eradicate the wildlife because we came here to make the world safe for humanity, not raise cattle. So we're going to go ahead and wipe them out. That's given us points towards the purity affinity. And purity is the belief that humanity is sort of good in and of itself, that it doesn't need to change itself in order to be essentially human. That you know, we need to sort of remember what it is to be a human, to keep in mind what we've left behind on Earth and what we're ultimately working towards in the future. One of the things we believe in clearly is sinking sea dragons, because that feels pretty good. Now we've got another, looks like we've discovered another resource pod up here. This Marine's wounded. On this next turn, probably what I'll do is I'll start healing him up. That'll give that guy time to catch up with him. So we'll go ahead and we'll heal up the soldier for a couple of turns, and we'll bring in the relief crew. So let's see what's over here. This is Resolin. That's another resource that you can find. Oh, an alien hive. Oh, and there's nobody in it. That's fantastic. So we'll go ahead and we'll start to converge on this. And we'll go ahead and clear it out right away. All right, so we've had a pretty good opening so far. I'm going to go ahead. Looks like we've explored this peninsula fully. Well, maybe not fully, but enough that I'm comfortable with where we are right now. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll give these guys the orders to back off for a little bit, right after they recover that resource pod. Extra energy. We're swimming in energy over here. So because we've got all of this bonus energy, we can go ahead and we can make a purchase if we want to. We could get an explorer. We could get that Old Earth Relic that we're in the process of building right now. I'm actually going to go ahead and pick an explorer, and we'll send him out this side on the map to start taking a look. All right, so our city's grown. We've developed some culture. We're going to go ahead and pick a virtue for our people. This is the new virtue system. It's very similar to the social policies that are in Civ V. There are a couple of differences here. We have, not only do we have these sort of synergy bonuses for going deep within a particular tree, so we also have these sort of breadth bonuses as well too. In Civ V, there's very much an opportunity cost associated with spreading yourself out across multiple policy trees. And the designers, when they were building Beyond Earth, they looked at that and they said, well, we want to let people feel like they can find some interesting strategies by going across the different approaches. So we'll go ahead and put in these synergy kickers like this one. This first one lets you choose a free virtue if you have done it across multiple trees. Later on, you start to get bonuses. They get pretty impressive. So there's less of an opportunity cost about going across multiple virtue directions. We're going to pick survivalism because shooting aliens is lots of fun. And we're going to go ahead and continue. All right, our explorer is ready to go out into the world. We're going to send him over this way. This explorer is getting better. We're going to bring him back. All right, let's start retreating our Marines off the coastline a bit. And time for new production in the city. Let's build another soldier, because we haven't seen enough of this planet.
Consider a simple problem, such as navigation in a spaceship approaching light speed.
And we've just completed our research into physics. We can now construct the Ranger unit. We could also build an observatory, which gives us a bonus from Firaxite as well, which is cool because we do have that. A launch complex, which increases the range of tiles where we can launch a satellite out towards, and we get extra production from quarry improvement. So all very good stuff. Ooh, there's another resource pod. I'm actually going to send this explorer down to the south, and I'm going to let this tailing explorer go pick that one up. So I'll just tell him, you know, go over there in your own good time and let me know what you find. Okay, thanks. That's cool. All right, so we're back in the tech web. We're looking for technologies that we can research. Looks like we've got a couple different directions we could go. Engineering's a good one, because not only does it reveal titanium and give us a building that allows us to increase production for our land units, we can also, say, build a combat rover. That would be pretty cool. Let's go ahead and we'll do that. And we're ready to continue. Okay, we're continuing to send our explorers south. Again, so much of this early game, like Civ V, is devoted to the process of figuring out what's in the world with you, you know, what you can do to make life easier for yourself. I haven't built a worker yet. Now at population 3, okay, we've just run into a new alien unit. But what I want to point out is his icon color right here. See, an alien wolf beetle, previously when we were running into them, the alien was black shield with kind of a green icon. And now what we're seeing is that this is actually an orangey color. This means that the aliens are becoming more aggressive towards us. So because my explorer is not a combat guy, I'm going to back him up so he gets some protection from them. And I'm going to start bringing the Marines down to take a look. Let's back out a little bit. We'll go ahead and we'll continue. And remember, the aliens are probably not real happy with us because we have been going around and we've been whacking everything we can see. We've cleared out 2 nests already. We've been shooting those sea dragons as they come in out of the ocean. And just as a reminder, if you're just joining us, we're watching Civilization Beyond Earth. And what we're doing in today's demo is we're showing what happens when you fight aliens, when you make it a point to treat the aliens the way you would the Barbarians in Civilization V by aggressively seeking them out and fighting them. Versus what can happen when you try to pursue a little bit of a cleaner coexistence with them. So, all right, we've got this guy exploring. We'll bring him back. We'll use him as an early warning unit just in case anybody starts coming up that coastline. Okay, we've got another virtue we're ready to develop. So we could pick adaptive tactics, which gives us even more experience from combat. Or one of my favorite techs is called scavenging, which gives you science from killing aliens. You get 100% of an alien's life form strength as science after you kill it, and 35 science from destroying an alien nest. So I like the sound of that. We'll go ahead and we'll pick that virtue. We'll go ahead and we'll continue. All right, let's go ahead and we'll keep moving this guy south. We're starting to see some miasma down there, and we're getting a little bit of attrition from some units right there. So from passing through miasma, so I need to be careful about that. All right, we'll leave him there. We'll let him heal up for a bit. Go ahead and continue. Okay, Dao Ming Sochua of the Pan-Asian Cooperative has just landed. She's letting us know that she's there. Leaders will potentially land at different times during the course of it. That's always very exciting, especially if you have very carefully developed plans for moving into a territory and then they turn out and drop a spaceship right where you were planning to go. Not that I've ever had that happen to me and consequently go into war with somebody. We're ready to pick a new virtue. I'm going to go ahead and choose adaptive tactics for that. Experience bonus. We're working our way through the might tree now. Looks like we're building a very, very militant Brasilia, which is pretty cool. We are Space Attila right now. Oh, there's a resource pod over there. Oh, look at that. It's just across the ocean. If I had chosen planetary survey instead of engineering, we'd be so close to getting the ability to embark units and sail across the ocean, but I went for engineering instead because I wanted combat rovers. Looks like we've just finished building our next unit in the city. I would like to build a ranger because we spent so much time working towards that. This guy's ready to go. Yeah, we're going to have to heal up in a bit because we're having to pass through these miasma tiles. But we now have 3 marine units that we can use to sweep the territory, which is pretty good.
Instruct the children not to dream of toys or sweets. Instruct them to dream of infrastructure.
All right. So we've just researched engineering. We're ready to go with that. So now we can build combat rovers. Oh, there's more of those aggressive wolf beetles. There must be a nest down here. There's usually a few, once you start spanning out a bit from your cities, you can usually find a couple of nests. Take a look to see what tech we should research next. I feel like, well, now's probably a good time. Culture Advisor recommends planetary survey. It would allow us to build a work barge, which we don't need right away. We could go with pioneering for the trade convoy and the trade vessel, the trade depot, and also the colonists. So yeah, this brings up another interesting point. In Beyond Earth, you don't begin with the ability to produce settlers. It's a technology you have to research, pioneering. The reason for that is that represents more the knowledge of needing to learn how to build the tools for settling a new